Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in our newsrooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
Want to just get out of town with your friends and family? Are you having a corporate getaway and have no adequate transport? Then this here is what you need to listen to. A brand new 35-seater Yutong luxury bus is now up for hire at an affordable and negotiable rate. It comes fully equipped with aircon, TV for your relaxation, music soothing your trip, and DVD players to give you variety. Book now by calling 0955 0966 or 977 844 141.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Chipsy potato chips. We know you'll love them.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Jungle.
Thank you so much for your time and welcome to Prime TV's main news. To begin, we look at the headlines. Students at Evelyn Horn College stage a protest over hike in tuition fees. Protus attributes poor grade 12 results to lack of materials and funding. MMD is not finished, MMD President Nevas Mumba has disclosed. And in foreign news, Central Africa leaders plan a Boko Haram offensive. These and other interesting stories coming up shortly after this. Details. My name is Daniel Tonga. Students at Evelyn Horn College have staged a protest against management's decision to increase tuition fees and lodging fees. The students have also protested in line with failure by management to improve sanitary conditions at the college. The students have indicated that they will continue protesting until management heeds to their cause. They have charged that paying high tuition fees is not in line with the learning conditions prevailing at the institution. Efforts by Prime TV to get a comment from management proved futile by press time.
Initially here, the problems that we are facing are poor sanitation and the increment of tuition and lodging fees. They have increased the tuition fees and lodging fees without our consent.
Before any increment, management signed, approved and endorsed the constitution where they said when major issues or decisions are to be made, they have to consult the student community through their elected representatives. But they did not consult us. They went on to increase those tuition fees. Why should they increase lodging fee when we still have blocked toilets, we still have blocked drainages, we still have erratic water supply, the toilets are unflushable?
This is 850 hence here we are suffering with students. Therefore what you are saying, let the management be realistic and let the management take the full responsibility of the students. These are the matters which the management should engage the student union and the student populace.
Movement for Multi-Party Democracy MMD President Dr. Nevas Mumba has disclosed that MMD is not finished under his leadership and is still relevant to Zambia's governance system. Dr. Mumba was reacting to former Republican Vice President Enoch Kavindele's call for MMD to disband owing to its alleged inability to add value to the governance issues. Dr. Mumba says the MMD is currently undergoing a reconstruction cleanup. He says people should wait for this cleanup to run to its course before judging whether the former ruling party is still relevant or not. Dr. Mumba says he is not inclined to go into a debate over what Mr. Kavindele is calling for, as he does not understand the angle he is talking from. Aspiring Kawata Member of Parliament Clement Tembo says he is disappointed that in President Lungu's cabinet there is no youth but recycled politicians. Mr. Tembo has charged that youths have been sidelined by President Edgar Lungu when they are the ones with better ideas to develop this country. He says recycling old people in public offices will not develop this country, hence the need to appoint youthful individuals in public offices. Mr. Tembo says if President Lungu will not appoint any youth to represent fellow youths in these public offices, youths won't vote for him in 2016. He was speaking in an interview with Prime TV in Lusaka. Mr. Tembo has further congratulated Vincent Mwale on his appointment as Minister of Sports and urged him to work with youths in the country.
It's an appeal once again to His Excellency, the President, Edgar Lungu. He's just got a few days. You know, he's been so much under pressure to put up the cabinet. I still feel that he has an opportunity to use young people to get into office. And these are the young people that are going to give him votes, you understand, come 2016. Because remember, the young people are affected. And when we talk of young people being affected, these are real issues. Go out there, even today as I'm speaking with you, this is just about 10 hours or so, you find young people drinking beer. Drunk. Outright. You can't blame them. The issue is that they have nothing to do. There's no alternative. And lately, these recycled politicians, they've done nothing about it. We want to offer new ideas. We want to bring in issues of skills center for our young people. Our young people are supposed to be busy. I would rather have somebody doing carpentry, plumbing, as opposed to finding somebody in a bar doing nothing. And so many of them want to do work, but there's no one to offer this thing.
Meanwhile, National Restoration Party NAREP has expressed disappointment over the decision by President Edgar Lungu to continue with the policy of appointing 2 deputy ministers to certain cabinet portfolios. NAREP President Elas Chipimo says much as there is political expediency in using government positions, there is need for leaders to maintain a small cabinet and create decent jobs. Mr. Chipimo adds that it is not too late to reorganize the ministries and to trim down the bloated cabinet. He said this in a statement made available to Prime TV in Lusaka. President Lungu has appointed 33 deputy ministers in 21 government ministries, excluding the Ministry of Finance. Professional Teachers Union of Zambia ProTUZ has attributed the drop in the grade 12 pass rate to lack of materials in schools and late deployment of teachers. ProTUZ General Secretary Albert Muyemba says many grade 12s failed because there was lack of seriousness from both parents and pupils. Speaking to Prime TV in an interview, Mr. Muyemba says government should employ teachers in time, at least at the beginning of the year. He has further explained that much as teachers are trying to do their best, pupils must play their part by studying very hard. Mr. Muyemba adds that parents and guardians should make sure they monitor the way children perform in schools.
We have been talking about the issue of teacher-pupil ratio in most of the government schools. That challenge is still there. That challenge has not been addressed by government. We are still seeing a situation where a teacher is standing in class of pupils about 100, 120, 130, 150 in some cases. Surely, how does a teacher perform effectively? How do pupils improve in that situation? We still have got issues of insufficient funding in terms of production of learning and teaching materials in schools. So that one also is also contributing, because as we teachers teach, we need materials. As pupils learn, they also need materials. So the provision of learning and teaching materials in schools is very, very cardinal. But this is one area also that has not been addressed adequately.
We are now taking our first break. Stay with us if you can for other interesting stories coming up after this.
Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.
What's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real, cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that
awesome crunch.
Welcome back, and now other local stories. Republican Vice President Inonge Wina says street vendors play a vital role in contributing to the country's gross domestic product (GDP). Speaking when she addressed scores of vendors who marched to her office in a solidarity march, the VIP says most times vendors are marginalized in society when they play a vital role in contributing to the country's economy. Ms. Wina says there is need for stakeholders to support the initiative and works that have been done by street vendors in order to reduce the high levels of poverty in the country. She says there is need to find a lasting solution for both the vendors and the city by ensuring that vendors are involved in the cleanup exercise of the cities.
When we sometimes consider the GDP of Zambia, we fail to capture the informal sector. And we know that that informal sector is predominantly overwhelmed by the presence of women. And the women in markets, women on the streets. What I can request you is one cardinal thing, that as you trade on the streets of Lusaka, let's find a lasting solution to clean up Lusaka, to clean up our towns, and to find you alternative areas where you can trade.
The Law Association of Zambia LAZ says the past constitution-making processes failed because they did not meet the expectations of the people of Zambia. Speaking at a media breakfast hosted by the Grand Coalition, LAZ Vice President Linda Kasonde says the only way people's expectations can be met is by adopting the constitution through a referendum. Ms. Kasonde says piecemeal amendments to the document will result in another failure to have a people-driven constitution. Meanwhile, Grand Coalition member Father Cleotus Lungu says the Grand Coalition has been consistent in highlighting a proper roadmap to the constitution-making process. Father Lungu says the people of Zambia have submitted what they want to be enshrined in the constitution, hence the need to go for a referendum as the mode of adoption. Now, Professional Teachers Union of Zambia ProTUS has called upon female teachers to ensure that they demonstrate their importance and role they play ahead of Women's Day on the 9th of March 2015. ProTUS Women's Chairperson Eunice Chileshe says this year's Women's Day will be different as women will be celebrating the day with the Vice President to signify their contribution to the teaching fraternity. She says the appointment of Ms. Wina as the Republican Vice President has been welcomed by teachers. Ms. Chileshe says as a nation they are looking forward to working with the Vice President in tackling different issues that are affecting girl children in schools.
Strongly believe this year's World Women's Day is a unique one and worth celebrating. This is because for the first time we are celebrating the day with the female Vice President. The Union Women's Desk takes this opportunity to welcome and congratulate the Vice President, Honorable Inonge Wina, for her appointment. We pledge our relentless support and looking forward to working with the Office of the Vice President, Chief Justice Irene Mambilima, and many other women. As the theme for 2015 states, make it happen. Therefore, we urge all our male and female teachers to support the government of His Excellency Edgar Chagwa Lungu for development and prosperity.
We are now taking our second and final break. Join us for some international news when we return.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? potato chips. We know you'll love them.
Welcome back now in foreign news. Egypt has called on the international community to intervene against Islamic ISIS militants in Libya. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said what was happening in Libya was a threat to world peace and security. His remarks come as Egyptian jets bombed ISIS targets in response to a militant video of the apparent beheading of 21 Egyptian Christians. Libya has been in chaos since 2011, with militia battling for control of territory and two rival governments. But the BBC says there is little international appetite for military involvement, and the emphasis remains on trying to find a political and diplomatic solution to the country's problem. And finally, in our news, leaders from Central Africa have met in Cameroon to finalize plans for a military offensive against Boko Haram fighters in Nigeria and neighboring countries. Representatives of 10 nations met in the capital Yaoundé on Monday under Economic Community of Central Africa states and committed to spend $86 million to fight Boko Haram. They also urged the international community to provide more support to counter the armed group. Nigeria's best Boko Haram has widened its attacks into neighboring countries, notably Cameroon and Chad, in a conflict estimated to have claimed a total of 13,000 lives since 2009. For these and other stories, we monitored Al Jazeera.
Taliban fighters have attacked the police headquarters in the eastern Logar province. The provincial governor says at least 2 bombers managed to detonate the explosives inside the compound. Now it follows an earlier blast in Kabul. Across the border, 8 people have been killed in an explosion in Pakistan. It happened close to the city police headquarters in the eastern city of Lahore. The blast comes just days after 22 people were killed in a gun and suicide attack on a Shia mosque in the northwestern city of Peshawar. People in the Libyan city of Derna are assessing the damage a day after Egypt launched a series of airstrikes. These are the latest pictures from a hospital in the city. Cairo says the strikes killed several ISIL-linked fighters in the raid. The leader of Lebanon's Hezbollah has called on his military wing to increase its presence in Iraq. Hassan Nasrallah says his forces were already fighting ISIL in Iraq. He also says Hezbollah will not retreat from Syria.
I say to you who call on us to retreat from Syria, I call on you to go together to Syria. We might not have talked about Iraq before. We have a modest presence in the early phase and the sensitive phase in Iraq. But I say, let's go to Iraq and let's go now.
There are media reports in Yemen that weapons from Russia have been shipped through the port city of Hudaida. Houthi fighters have controlled the area since October. The shipment was reportedly transferred north to the Houthi stronghold of Sada. Houthis dissolved parliament earlier this month and took over the capital Sana'a in September. The Italian Coast Guard has rescued 275 migrants from boats in the Mediterranean Sea. More than 2,400 migrants have now been rescued in the past 48 hours. Some of them have been taken to the island of Lampedusa. The U.S. State Department is urging pro-Russia separatists in eastern Ukraine to stop their attacks immediately. A ceasefire, which began on Saturday night, is holding in most parts of the east. But fighting in the town of Debaltseve is threatening to undermine the truce.
And as we conclude our news, we take a look at what made the headlines. Students at Evelyn Horn College stage a protest over hike in tuition fees. Protus attributes poor grade 12 results to lack of materials and funding. MMD is not finished, MMD President Dr. Nevas Mumba has disclosed. And in foreign news, Central Africa leaders plan Boko Haram offensive. And that will do for our news. Thank you so much for your time. And remember, a recorded version of this bulletin can also be accessed on our website, www.ptvzambia.com. This has been Daniel Tonga. Thank you once again for your time, and bye-bye for now.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. ZESCO, powering the nation.